Hi, targeted individuals. It's Sherry Dreamus, currently being targeted in Denver, Colorado. I found a little spot where I could talk, and hopefully I won't be bothered by perps, because perps know me. I'm easily distracted, so when I make a video, they have a tendency of talking to me, and then I hurry up and delete the video because I get frustrated and stuff. But I'm going to try my best, because I have a hard time expressing myself, and I have also a hard time explaining the no-touch torture in my targeting. But it should be great right here. See, the river's right here, and you know, so if they single me out right here, it's gonna be obvious. Plus I'm drinking a little beer so I could talk, because I used to be a very, very, very private person. Everything was private in my life, and as a TI, you know, your life is never private no more. So you have to like share everything, and everyone has to know everything about you, because you have to expose what they're doing, the criminal corruption or government corruption. Sorry, but I imagine this video is going to take me a little while, so I just want to get that out. Unless, you know, in case I lose my train of thought, you guys, bear with me, because sometimes I do. But anyway, I was going to explain to you what happened with Angelina Glenn, a perp pretending to be a TI, and also Tiden is a perp pretending to be a TI. I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, we're going to talk about December of 2019. I did a survey with Catherine Horton. In the beginning of December, I think, I want to say December 4th is when I had it finally, you know, signed my affidavit and sent it to her, because I had to have it in by the 12th, that's right. So it was the 4th, and I wanted it in before her court date. So after I was done with it, and after her court date was over, I want to say 2 weeks later, Angelina Glenn gets a hold of me. Well, I don't put it together that she's getting a hold of me right away, you know. But and I'm with Michael. I met Michael. He is a true TI, and he is a good guy. However, me and him sometimes don't see eye to eye on things, because we're both traumatized in different ways. What traumatizes him might not traumatize me, and what traumatizes me might not traumatize him. So it's sometimes very difficult to be around another TI. But you got to know the difference between a TI and a perp, because there's tactics that perps use and TIs do not. But however, Michael is a true TI, and I met him in September of 2019, and we were dating. And he also did an affidavit with Catherine Horton. Well, Angelina Glenn gets a hold of me and goes, I want to help you two TIs out. I got a 2-bedroom apartment. It will be perfect. You know, sell me this line, because my targeting has a lot to bait me in and try to set me up. That's what my targeting is mainly about. You know, we all have different themes for targeting. Mine's baiting me in and trying to set me up. So I know that Angelina was mainly going after me and not Michael, but that's how she presented it to me at first. Okay, and Michael was for it, which Michael is not, because Michael is more like, don't trust no one, don't trust no one. No. It took him a long time to even trust me, okay? You know, to prove I wasn't a perp. But anyway, me, I'm a little bit more untrusting, but I still trust. I trust sooner, and the perps know that, because, you know, I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but, you know, I got to be more careful now, because if I don't, they can take me down, and I don't want that. So I got to, you know. But anyway, I trust myself enough. If I know they're a perp, I'll get the fuck away. I do know that. So I trust myself enough to know the difference. So, but when she presented this to me, at first I was like, no, because I was really comfortable with Reno. I was comfortable being homeless and, you know, doing the homeless thing, because the perps made me homeless about 4 years ago. And yes, at first it was really scary and frightening. But I took that negative situation and turned it into a positive situation. Because you could always turn a negative into a positive. So I said, you know what? I'm grateful for a bed I get to sleep on. It's warm, you know? It's not the best bed. But at least I have a bed to sleep on. At least I got food in my belly. At least, you know, I started being grateful for like the smaller things in life. So I was very grateful and I was very comfortable. And I actually had the perps by the balls in Reno. And I was comfortable. Well, they don't like that. If you're not suffering, they're not doing their job right. That's how it is. So, you know, so they want you to suffer and they're going to do every possible way to make that happen. So that's one of the reasons why Angelina contacted me. And I believe she was a TI, you know, because she was in those messengers messaging and, you know, doing what we do. And she also told me she had an affidavit with targeted justice. Although I never seen it, that's what I was told. So I believed her. So I said, and Michael believed her, which is rare, because Michael don't believe nobody. So he believed her at first. But anyway, so we get our tickets to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to where she is. Get a hold of this. The next day, she went on her page and said, oh, God told me you were a call girl, and she started slandering me on Facebook and sending like my pictures out saying I'm a call girl, I'm this, I'm that. Which, hold that thought for a moment, because this will tie in to the Aaron Tiden portion. So that's what she says. I was like, what? And you know, and I still believe she's a TI, even after she's slandering me. I just thought maybe she was like misled or something. You know what I mean? My dumb ass, that's how I am though, you know. And Michael goes, that's not a TI, Sherry. TIs don't do that. They don't slander you. They don't put information on Facebook saying you're something when you're not. Unless it's true, which was not true. So I was like, oh yeah, she might be a perp, but in the back of my head, I didn't want to think she was a perp, you know? You just don't. But anyway, so I looked at, we still went to Albuquerque because I noticed they had really good homeless services. Because that's all I'm about. I go to a state and I want to know what, you know, the best homeless service is before I go. Because in my mind, that's where I'm the safest. I'm not safe in an apartment or in a house. I'm just not. Even though there's a lot of perps in the shelter, they can't really do anything in public. And I know this. That's why I feel safe there. So, my torture happens when I'm in an apartment and a house. So that's why I like shelters, because I'm tortured less. And I'm less suffering. And I'm grateful for whatever I get. Free clothes. I get free clothes, and you know, I work out the resources that is available to us, you know, I do. But anyway, so we go down there, right, and it's hell. Michael can't find a job because he's a TI. This is all set up too. This is all planned. They made sure he couldn't have a job or anything to cause some friction between us, so we would fight together, you know, because me, I like being by myself a lot, and Michael, he's more like clingy, let's hang out, and I'm like, you know, sometimes I need to breathe. So it wasn't about him working, I just need him a little bit more away from me. But so it caused some friction. We got in a major fight in about a month after I was there. It was about a month after we were there. And in our fight, he doesn't go to Colorado yet. He tries to still work and do whatever he needs to do in Albuquerque. I think that's what it was. Oh no, he came back. I can't remember. No, yeah, he did come back to Albuquerque. We got in a fight, 2 weeks after being there, and then he went to Colorado, and then he came back to Albuquerque. And then the second time was a month. Yeah, 2 weeks after that. So it was 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Yeah, that's what it was. But he didn't go to Colorado right away the second time. He went to Colorado right away the first time we were fighting. The second time, he didn't go until he couldn't get this job. Because, you know, everything was planned. But anyway, as soon as Angelina, in fact, as soon as Angelina knew he was back in Colorado, that day, I didn't know it yet, but that day she contacts me and says, "Oh, I'm sorry for calling you a call, girl. You should come and live with me, and we could be, you know, TI friends, da da da." And I was like, at first I was like, what the heck? What? And I was like, should I trust this woman? I did. I let her come pick me up from the library after we're done talking. We go to her apartment, and something strange. When I enter her apartment, there's a gun on her counter. That's a little weird. You're not going to tell a fellow TI there's a gun on your counter before you enter the apartment? That's a little odd. You know? So, I walked by the gun and she goes, "Oh, don't worry, it doesn't work. She had to make sure. And I was like, and then I had the thought in my head, I should grab this gun and just shoot my brains out. I don't think like that. So, I'm pretty sure that they planted that thought in my head. But anyway, I didn't do that. Of course, I'm here. Thanks. And, it was a little odd. And just things were just, I noticed, like, being around fake TIs, I've been around them like 3 times. There was another story when I first found out I was a TI. I fell for one. I fell for it 3 times, you guys. 3 times. But anyway, this Angelina Glenn is actually my second one. They do a lot of same MO, like fear tactics. And they want you to notice every single buddy doing something. You know? I was like, I don't want to go around stressing out. He's a perp. You know, I don't do that shit. I just walk. You know, and if they single me out, I could tell right away. Because usually no one really singles you out. You know what I mean? They don't. But people pretty much leave you alone unless they're a perp. So I don't really want to notice people. Because I like to be left alone. But anyway, that's what she was doing. She was doing a lot of that, and then she made me watch a movie about how a teenage girl got this teenage girl to commit suicide. So maybe they were trying to get me to commit suicide at her house, and of course I didn't do it. Do I feel suicidal? Since I've been feeling suicidal the last 6 months, falling for these fake TIs, because it's really hard, you know. But anyway, 2 weeks, about 10 days actually, 10 days. She goes, "You want to use my Wi-Fi?" I'm like, no, because hacking happens if I use Wi-Fi, and da-da-da, and this and that. She goes, "No, I'll be alright, I'll be alright." So the bitch takes my phone, puts her Wi-Fi password on, and guess what? The major hackers come out. And I was like, I thought this. She goes, "Well, they hacked my phone, they hacked my phone." I'm like, yeah, but I didn't want to use Wi-Fi because I didn't want my phone hacked. And you were sitting there getting me to use your dang Wi-Fi. Why would you do that if you're a TI? You know, why would you put me in danger like that? Hacking is dangerous. no one should know your personal information, but they do. But you know, I mean, it's not fun. So that's what happened. And then I went in the room because I'm angry, and she wants me to watch her dog. So I watch her dog, but she doesn't really leave. I hear her and another woman talking about how they were going to shoot me and say we should just say it's self-defense. Well, I knew she was a perp. And, you know, I mean, everyone's like, well, she could have just got, you could have got V2K in her voice. No, I know what V2K is. And you know what, when some, V2K is more like a fucking recording almost. Not an actual person talking. And I could hear them talking. So I got the fuck away. And I got a hold of Michael, and he told me come to Colorado because I wanted to end my life right then and there. I was like, this is getting too hard. This is too hard. I can't even tell a perp from a real TI, you know? I'm like, this is getting really hard on me. So I come to Colorado on February 21st. And me and Michael are getting along pretty good. Because, you know, I learned to get along with him. Some of the stuff he does, like flip the script on the perps, you know, agitates me, irritates me. I'm a very person that gets very agitated and irritated easy, and the perps know it. So I noticed that the perps would like to try to start fights by crowding us, and so Michael would crowd them back. I was like, why can't you just ignore him? Why can't you just ignore him? You know, I just couldn't believe that he just did it back. Well, after I knew that's what they were doing, just to cause a fight, to crowd us, to get me to yell at him, I said, I'm just going to let him do his thing on how he handles the perps, and I'll do my thing on how to handle the perps. You know what I mean? I mean, no, it's no wrong way, I guess, but, so I learned to take a step back and make it where it wasn't annoying me and stuff, but, we just have different ways on how to handle it. That's all. But anyways, on the end of April, so a month after being there, we get in another bad fight. Yeah, like April 21st, we get in a big bad fight. But Tiden doesn't contact me until almost to my payday. Very interesting. But he contacts me 3 days before my payday. So this time, they decided to make it not look like they contacted me right away after our breakup. But it was pretty much, that's what it is. And the strange thing is when I was at Angelina Glenn's apartment, Tiden contacted me. Which we didn't really talk that much before, just like in groups and stuff. But he contacted me on Messenger. I was like, oh, he's finally contacting me. Maybe he'll tell me some of these I have so much questions about these videos and stuff. But if you know, Tiden makes those videos and they're awesome. I learned how to do them myself too. But he will not explain too much to you guys. He will not explain what is not out there already. I'll tell you that right now. He goes to websites and he only explains what information is already out there for us. So he's a really smart perp, because he puts information that looks so smart and sophisticated where a TI is deceived by this. We're like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So where I stand with this, because he's a smart perp, if a TI is not willing to stop their targeting, number one. That's the number one. If they're not willing to stop their targeting, they're not a true TI. That's where I am with that. So, but you know, that's fake TIs, perps, the fake TI ones, don't talk about how to stop their targeting. That's all you have to look for. What have they done to stop their targeting? Oh yeah, they're sticking all the smart stuff out there, but what are they doing to end their targeting, their personal targeting? That's where I'm at with that. So Aaron taught me a lot. Even a smart perp, you could overlook it by one thing. What are they doing to help stop their targeting? That's all you have to look for. If they're not helping to stop their targeting, they're not a true TI. So, you know, I had to learn that the hard way, you know, by being with Aaron. But he contacts me. And I don't want to go to Iowa because I have been severely tortured there by my own family that lives there. So he does something incredible to get me there, right? Cherie, I want to help save you. I want to help save you. And as a TI, you know, when you hear that someone wants to save you, they want to save you, right? And you're like, you're willing to spend whatever you got to be saved. That's what you're willing to do to have your targeting stop. So that's how he got me there. He said, I want to save you. Because any other way, I would have never went to Iowa. Because I've been tortured there. But in my mind, I thought I was going to be saved. That's why I went. That's why I went there. So you guys, I get emotional when I talk about my torture. I don't mean to. But anyway. I get there. And perps know I'm a good, I read people really, really good. So for the first 2 weeks, all Aaron does is sleep around me. Smart move, right? I can't read somebody if they're sleeping. You know, they're sleeping. You can't read nobody. So that was a smart move. Aaron is a very, very, very smart perp. But, you know, as I get there, you know, he talks about how he gets V2K and they do a lot every day. And he's tortured with it. I'm like, I asked him, I'm like, I thought the do hurt you. I thought you got V2K 24/7. I thought you got the do 24/7. What's going on? Like, his story wasn't consistent when I was meeting up with him. And he goes, Cherie, it's better since you've been here. I'm like, that's not what happens. When two TIs meet up, it's not what happens. Your no-touch torture does not stop. If anything, they increase it. You know, they don't stop it. So I knew, I was like, you know, I was like, there's something odd about this. His targeting stops when I get there. And what I noticed is my targeting had lessened while I was with him too. It usually does when a perp baits me into their environment. Then the stalking and stuff slows way down. But you know, because they're trying to take me down. But anyway, I'm really confused by this. And I can't really get to know him because he's sleeping a lot. So I can't really read that. But he knows I have brought a notebook, you know, a little laptop notebook. And I have another phone. I have two phones and a tablet. And he goes, 2 weeks go by. He goes, I want to work on that. I want to work on that. And I don't let no one touch my phone because of the hacking. Because they have to physically have your phone to stick the malware on there. They physically have to have it. Or, you know, or they have to stick a they have to physically, or this is how he stuck the malware on the phone I physically had. He told me, Sheree, I want to download all those voices, you know, because I record every phone call that comes in and out. I want to download them on my computer with your memory card. This is how he gets the malware on my actual phone that I'm using. And I don't know about the memory card. I didn't know about they could do it that way. I didn't know that yet. But that's what he does. He goes, let me download all those recordings on my computer and we can fix it. I'm like, and I'm thinking, oh, that's too much work. I could do that over my phone. You know what I mean? And he goes, no, it'll be easier on my computer. I promise, I promise. I'm like, okay. So I hand him my memory card. And he's already messed with my computer and my other phone. And, you know, I don't stick my memory card in right away. Because I'm not like that. He goes, aren't you going to stick that in your phone? Are you going to stick that? And, you know, he's really wanting me to stick this memory card in my phone. I'm like, I'll do it later. I don't want to do it right now. He goes, no, you should. I'm like, why? I thought you downloaded it on your computer. He goes, well, I don't want you to lose it. I'm like, oh, okay. That's how you got me to put it in there. So I stick it in my phone. Bam! Bam! Because I go in the settings and bam, the malware's on my phone. Yep. That's how it happened. I said, you just infected my phone, dude. He goes, no, they hacked my phone too. Sure, I'm a TI. They hacked my phone too. Just like Angelina Glenn. They hacked my phone. They hacked my phone. You know? I already understand that your phone is hacked and you're on remote narrow monitoring and you get V2K messages to harass another TI. I understand you guys are on the same program. The difference is I don't consent. You do. I don't consent to the hacking. You do. I didn't consent to the malware being put on my phone. You do. So, with that said, I was looking in the files, you know, looking more of the malware because it's a two-way street. Whatever they're infecting your phone with, you get to have access to it. And they don't like you to know that because they like you to be freaked out about the phone where you just drop it and you just ignore it because you're so freaked out from the hacking, from what they're doing. Well, I don't freak out. I've never been a paranoid person. In the beginning of my targeting, I was kind of like that, but you know what? I said, I'm going to figure out the shit. I'm going to figure it out. And I have. As I was looking through the files, I noticed they were using a clone Facebook. Looked just like my Facebook. The only difference is they were using one of my other emails on that Facebook. So I was going for the password to get into those clones. As I was doing that, Aaron tells me, you don't want, what are you doing in that file? What are you doing in that file? Motherfucker, it's my phone. I pay the bill. I could be in anything I want. You want to stick shit on my phone? I'm going to figure some more shit out. Don't stick it on my phone if you don't want me to know about it. That's plain and simple. I'm not paranoid. I'm not dropping this phone. So therefore, and I notice I'm at all these locations in a car. Like different locations in Iowa in a car. I'm like, I'm not in a motherfucking car. I'm in this damn apartment. I've never been in any of these locations. But I notice I'm in all these locations. And then all of a sudden, because he lived in apartments where you have to go inside the building to get to the apartment instead of the apartment buildings being outside. So I noticed this. I noticed there's people stomping in and out of his apartment, like the complex. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, because they were doing it to distract me. I was like, I need to get the fuck away from this guy. I need to get the fuck away from him. He's trying to set me up, and I don't know what the setup is quite yet, but I know it's a setup. Because I'm in all these locations I am not at. So, I was like, I need to get the fuck away from him. He knows I know he's a perp at this point. And he is fine with me knowing he's a perp. Because it's all planned. Because they all know, once I know you're a perp, I get the fuck away. So he was willing to show me he was a perp. Because it was planned to get me the fuck away. As I'm leaving his apartment though, I'm walking in the opposite direction and he's chasing after me. He's like, no, just come back, you know, just pretending. You could tell that part's pretending. But then he gives me the power of suggestion, the power trip. Because I don't know my way around. He goes, why don't you walk over here? This is where the bus stop is. Catch it right there, catch it right there. I was like, no. I was like, I walked a little bit in this town and there's another bus stop right here. I don't do what perps ask me. I do the complete opposite and I'm walking